When I said yes, my secondary thought was, thank goodness I put some product in my hair. Well, like Claire's wonderful story, which I just loved, my story is on the theme of love, but I was not quite as lucky as Claire in this instance. I was in my 20s, and I fell hard in love with the wrong person. But I did fall hard, and I kept on falling, even though he did everything in his power, except using his words, to tell me that he was no longer in love with me. To the point that we were walking to the bus one day, and I was talking about something, and he kept wincing. And I finally said, what's wrong? Because I was just talking about dinner or something like that. And he said, oh, the pitch of your voice hurts my ears.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'll try to talk differently. And that's when I knew I had to get some distance. I had to get some perspective on this. This was not good for me. So I decided to go on retreat. I was raised Catholic. I know the value of a good retreat. At that point in my life, I was practicing Buddhism. So I was on the mailing list for this just wonderful Buddhist retreat center up in Washington State called Cloud Mountain Retreat Center. It's on a little farm up in the mountains. I looked at what was coming up. I wanted something like immediately. And the next thing coming up within a couple of days was a 7-day silent retreat. At least my voice wouldn't bother anybody. So I signed up, drove up there, and it was an old farm. And so I'm driving up this mountain, and I get to the farmhouse that's now the retreat center, and it was in the spring, the late spring. Beautiful, like green, grass and monks in saffron robes walking around and peacocks just roaming free on the grounds. And immediately I just felt, this is going to be really good. I'm going to get back to myself. I think this is exactly what I need. Dinner was great. Met the other retreatants. And then, after dinner, we met with our leader, the monk, who was going to lead the retreat in the meditation room, and through an interpreter, because this monk had flown directly from Burma, now Myanmar, then Burma, to Washington State to lead this retreat, and then he was flying back. So through the interpreter, we learned that his expectation for us was that we behave for this week as if we're in a Buddhist monastery. Chanting at 5 in the morning, sitting meditation, walking meditation. And he also wanted us to observe the set in meditation with a mouth breather beside you. I'm like, I can do this. Abstain from violence. 2, abstain from lying. It's a silent retreat. My mime skills are not that advanced. I think I'm going to be okay. Precept number 4, abstain from sexual relations. Now, at this point, everybody in the meditation hall starts surreptitiously checking out everybody else. Because you want to know what you're giving up. But I'm like, no, Anne, stop it. This is exactly why you're here, to get your mind off this kind of thing. Of course you're not going to do it. It's fine. Precept number 4, abstain from artificial stimulants. And for one horrible moment, I think this means caffeine, but it turns out it's just drugs and alcohol. Fine. So, I'm 4 out of 5. I'm well on my way to Buddhahood. Principle number 5, abstain from eating after noon. Heads snap up all over the meditation hall. Like, what? Abstain from eating after... This is a silent retreat. I have been on silent retreats before. All there is to do is eat. I don't think I can do this. This is too much. And then I look at the teacher. He's sitting up in front on his pillow, in his robe. He's got the aviator glasses and the high-tech watch, just like the Dalai Lama, and he's just exuding loving kindness. And I think, oh, that's what I want. I need this. I'm going to stay. I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this. So the next day, 5 o'clock in the morning, meditation hall, chanting, sitting meditation, walking meditation, breakfast, sitting meditation, walking meditation, lunch, the last meal. So I'm going down the cafeteria line, and I'm dishing up, tofu hot dish, spelt casserole, vegan, something, 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 something. My plate is so full I can barely lift the tray. I stagger over to the table, I put it down, I eat. I can only eat about a third of it, and I'm completely full. Then I go into the afternoon meditation, and at first I'm full, and I'm kind of sleepy and nauseous. And then around 5 o'clock, the bell rings, and I'm starving. I can't eat. And by the second day, we were all getting a little bit punchy. In the evening hours, I was doing some walking meditation outside the hall to try to just kind of calm myself down. And I see a woman. We had parked our cars under the trees at the edge of the grassy area. And I see there's a woman in her car, and she's hunched over the steering wheel, and she's doing something. So, I meditate over. Look, she's got a can of tuna fish. Eating it. I'm with you, sister. If you had a second can, I'd be in the passenger seat. So by the third day, I've really had it, because even if I'm, midway between starvation and nausea from overeating, and even if for 1 nanosecond I can achieve present moment, only moment, a moment of oneness with the universe, all it takes is hearing, woo, 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 and I'm knocked out, because it's peacock mating season. And the monastery is trying some peacock population control. So they have the peahens all caged up in chicken wire or peahen wire cage on the front lawn. The peacocks are roaming free, and they're lovelorn. They're distraught. And you've heard peacocks have an eerie call at the best of times. And when they're, the victims of unrequited love, woo, woo. So at first, I'm a feminist, and at first, why are the peahens caged up? Cage up the peacocks. That's the problem. And then I spend a little time with my sisters, the peahens. I'm looking at them through the wire. They are so happy. Painting their little peahen toenails. They're passing magazines back and forth. There's some knitting going on. It's these gals are content. They're fine. The peacocks, woo-hoo! So that's all it takes. 1 peacock call, and I am just right back in my misery of, he doesn't love me. He's never going to love me. What am I going to do? So by day 3, I'd had it. I'm not going to make it to 7 days. I'm going to leave right after lunch. So before lunch, I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm outside the back of the meditation center, and I'm walking meditation, breathing, walking meditation, breathing. There's a delivery truck, big white delivery truck, parked outside the kitchen, and they just drop some stuff off. And as I'm walking, meditating, breathing, the guy comes out, hops in the truck, puts it in reverse, because he's got to turn around so he can go down the long, winding road driveway out of the monastery. So he puts the truck into reverse, it backs up, and it makes that sound. There's this rustle in the underbrush, and as the truck starts down the driveway, this peacock bursts out of the underbrush and starts running down the driveway after the delivery truck. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! I love you! Woo-hoo! What's your name? Woo-hoo! Eureka! That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I am a peacock, and I'm chasing a delivery truck. So I snapped out of it. I went home, I ditched the delivery truck, I found myself a peacock. In fact, he's in the audience tonight. And let me tell you, I have lived much more happily ever after.